The Shep Naz Podcast begins now.
Welcome to the Shep Naz Podcast. I'm Joe, and I'm your host today. And today I have with me a masked crusader, I suppose.
That's right.
Pastor Brett Dillinger is with us, and as you might be able to gather if you're watching the video, we're going to talk about Trunk or Treat Plus.
That's right.
And this year we are combining a couple different events into one big thing. So welcome in, Pastor Brett.
Thank you, Joe. It's good to be here. Hi, everybody.
Yes. And I appreciate, the preparation and the attire. I like it.
I grabbed this stuff from right over there.
Oh, okay.
2 minutes ago.
Nice. Well, in previous years, like way back, we kind of had a tradition of doing Trunk or Treat.
Yeah.
And then, past couple years, we've been trying some things different. Last year, very successfully, we had the pumpkin smash and bash.
Yes.
And so now, this year, what are we in store for?
Yeah. So this year, Trunk or Treat Plus, like you said, Joe, it's kind of a mashup of some things we've done in the past. So it's going to be, in a way, different, but also there will be some things that our folks are familiar with. So what is Trunk or Treat Plus? I'll give you all the rundown. So
all right.
October 26th, from 5 to 7:30 here at the Gahanna campus of Shepherd. And there's going to be trunk or treating, which, if you're not familiar, is like trick or treating, but instead of going from door to door, people open up the trunks to their cars or trucks and they can pass out candy from there. There's going to be food, hot dogs, water, chips. There's going to be a hayride. There's going to be pumpkin launching is coming back, like from the pumpkin smash and bash, and some more games too. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And this year, we're able to incorporate a lot of elements. We had Trunk or Treat in the past, but in the years that we had Trunk or Treat in the past, there was no pavilion, there was no playground.
Right.
So there's a whole lot of elements coming together here.
Yeah, it's really cool. And just sort of side note, but being here on the grounds every week, and even I'm sure folks who are here for church each week share the sentiment, but it's really cool to see how much the property is developing. But yeah, it's a pretty valuable asset, and I'm excited to get to show it to people that are coming here maybe for the first time in a little while. So yeah, absolutely.
All right, so kind of take us the walk through what the plans are here. And I know that you came prepared with a way that you wanted to discuss that, and I'm probably just trampling all over that. So you take it from here.
I'll spin it. It'll work just fine. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about is the why are we doing this? Because like you said, this is something that was around in the past, and then it kind of took a sabbatical, and now it's coming back around. And so firstly, I just want to say, I know a lot of people have some apprehension towards anything that any church celebration that takes place around Halloween time. Yeah. So to clarify, we're not doing this to glorify Halloween or celebrate death or any of that spooky, silly nonsense. That's not what this is about.
Right.
Whatsoever. But I do want to share that part of why we're doing Trunk or Treat is because I think it's a privilege that we get to serve our community. It's a privilege that we get to host something for the families and the kids that are around here. And that's something that I really believe to be true because churches in previous years have gotten kind of a bad rep for doing things where it's the bait and switch method, where it's just get people in the doors and then boom, we tricked you and you're going to heaven now.
Yeah, now you're listening to a sermon and you're going to heaven.
That's part of it too, for sure. So I think that it's a really cool opportunity that we get to have where it's we just want, or we not only want, but we have an opportunity to just invite people into the space that we occupy and love on them and share with them some of the cool things that are going on here. But yeah, it's definitely a privilege to get to host something like this for the folks that are around here. But I also think that part of it is that we want to invite people to come and see the community that exists here. I've always said that a big part of my testimony is the friendships that I made in the church, and even now that even looks different as a staff member.
Yeah.
Like we do all kinds of silly and goofy things together as a staff, but those are things that I cherish. And I know that like, whether it's your small group or whether you're a young adult and you remember what it was like growing up in the church, a big part of what this community has to offer is friendships and the accountability and the brothers and sisters that you make along the way. And so inviting people into this space to get to see how we enjoy being in one another's company. Like, some people have their apprehensions about a church and they're like, oh, I don't know if this is going to be like one of those weird, like hyper political churches, or if as soon as I walk in, they're going to be super judgy and come after me. But just to see that like this community is one that can have fun. And like I said, friendships kind of grow here is a great opportunity too. But yeah.
Well, as you're looking at Shepherd, we're both currently serving on kind of a future church team.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you kind of were doing in this process is kind of looking at who are we as a church? And definitely, I think one of the great attributes of our church is the relationships that build. And, of course, we have a lot of fun on the podcast and everything, but that doesn't happen without there being a relationship outside of this.
Yeah.
And like, we do, even as staff, we have collective memories of experiences that we've been through and just fun times that we've had. And I think that carries over even when we've had people from the outside kind of take a look in. They go, wow, you guys like seem to enjoy each other,
Yeah.
and you have a good time. And that goes farther out when our community can see that as a body of believers and as a church, like these people just genuinely like to have a good time together, and they're looking after each other. They're kind of just living life together. And it's cool to be able to do that in a group setting like that. And it's very compelling because they look and they think, this is different than other things that I see in my life. This is different than just going to the Little League game where parents are getting upset because their kids aren't getting playtime. Like, this is a true community that's centered around the love of God. And because of that, it's very compelling.
Yeah. And I think, I think it's no surprise that the children's pastor puts a children's spin on this, but
sure.
I think even to like today, the day that we're recording this is Wednesday. And so this evening we have S1 kids. And I think about my nephew Theo, and he's been coming since he's preschool age, and getting to talk with him outside of the church setting. It's so cool to see. He's 4 years old, and he knows so many of the names of the kids here at church, and he talks about seeing them. And that's so cool for me because like I hear parents share like prayer requests that they want their kids to have strong and healthy friendships.
Right.
And then I get to see the church kind of being that for a lot of kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you said, I think that's really compelling. I got a few more things.
Yep, I figured you would.
So another thing that I think is really important and a great opportunity for us here is to communicate with the people that are around our property and just in this area that our church is here. Firstly, some folks don't, believe it or not, don't even know that we're around here. And not only that, but like we're here to help and we care about the people. Even if you don't go to church here, which
right.
I don't know how you would find this podcast. Maybe a friend sent it to you. But even if you don't go to church here, like just because you are in this area, like you are our people. You are people that we care about and we want to help. And I think that having events like this are a good opportunity to communicate that verbally and non-verbally. Like there's lots of opportunities to do that. I also think that Trunk or Treat is kind of a fun way to communicate that if you are here, you are someone that's seen. Like, I think this may sound silly to some people. Maybe this is just a children's pastor talking, but like if we have, 6 kids that come down the line trunk or treating and like I'm here in my trunk commenting on their like costumes. It's not just like I'm giving them candy and they're going along, but like you have an opportunity to this kid that maybe is just another student in a classroom throughout the day, and they get home and maybe they got a bunch of siblings. Like this is your chance to look at each of these people, and not just the kids, but the parents too, because it's, the way this usually goes, it gets a little wild and crazy for the parents too, but to like see them and have the chance to help them is a big deal. And then Yeah. And then just lastly, just to evidence that this is a place that's safe for family and kids. And so that's part of why, like, there's a lot of things we need to do right in preparation and then the day of, and we can get into talking about how folks can help. But I mean, that's a fear that a lot of parents who may or may not, who are thinking about going to church have, that like, sure, is this going to be a safe place for my family? And so we have an opportunity to prove that to them through this too.
All right, so I'm sure you have a very elaborate plan of like how things are going to be set up and all that kind of stuff, or at least that plan's in development.
Yeah.
So walk us through a little bit of what we would expect as we arrive at Trunk or Treat. And first of all, before you even go there, make sure we understand what day, time, place, all that kind of thing. Yes.
So the date is October 26th, which you'll find is this Sunday. It's Sunday evening. And it's from 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So it's a little bit of a longer event, but there's lots to do. So as you arrive, like there's going to be music playing. There's going to be lots of stuff going on. But the way that it's kind of going to be is that you can start wherever you want. Because like I said, there's tons of stuff to do. You don't have to go straight to the trick-or-treating because, I remember being here as a kid and, waiting feels a lot longer as a kid than as a grown-up. But regardless, the lines, they form. So to try and keep things moving, you can start wherever you want. If you get here and your kid's like, what in the world is pumpkin launching? You can go and do that. If you're like, I'm starving, let's go get some hot dogs. You can go and do that. Or you can just go straight in line and start trunk-or-treating with the kids. But yeah, we'll have some music going and then you can start wherever you'd like. But we're going to want to talk to you in lots of different ways. Like I said, there's a huge opportunity to serve. So you can, I don't want to get into that yet, but, but you can have some food. You can go to the trunk or treating. You can do the games. I'm wanting to do like, cornhole, maybe like 9 square and other fun yard games and stuff like that. And like I said, this leans pretty heavily into the friendship and community aspect. So I imagine people are going to be here with their friends. And there's just going to be lots of different areas that you can go to just to be, because I mean, a lot of the time, sometimes it's stuff like this, it feels like you got to eat and then you got to leave. But that's not how this is. You can stick around and just...
Now, do I get to dress up if I'm coming?
Oh my goodness, Joe. Yeah, this is your prompt, don't you see? Well, I guess we have audio listeners too, but basically, you might not have known this, but you've been on a podcast with the Dark Knight this whole time. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. But yeah, so, I mean, I was going to say your kids, but anyone is welcome to dress up as you would like to.
Well, sometimes us adults just have to have a really good excuse.
This is your excuse. I'm giving you the green light, Joe.
So like, we want to do it, but we don't want to look stupid. So, you maybe grab some kids and like, let's all dress up together.
Blame it on the kids.
Or, and we'll get into this, you could help. And then that will be, the means by which you would have your in to be able to do that.
Right. Absolutely. So if you're listening to this, you can dress up however you'd like for trunk or treat. We want to see your best costumes. Absolutely. I think I will be dressed up. So
I probably will in some form or another. That's yet to be determined. So there's going to be costumes and hayride, inflatables, pumpkin launching, cornhole, hot dogs, chips, all that kind of stuff.
It's a good thing that you're here, Joe, because I didn't even mention half of that stuff. Yeah, but that's happening. The hayride, everybody loves a hayride. I love a hayride every single time. And inflatables too. I just got those booked. That's going to be I mean, I'm interested, Joe. I think I'll be there.
It's a lot of good stuff. Now, all right, so let's get to it. We know that this doesn't just happen because we say that it's going to happen.
Right.
I mean, we would love it if that was the way. But when we say that the church is doing this, what we really mean is that we're all chipping in to do this. This isn't like a staff thing or just a volunteer. Like this is everybody coming together.
Right.
So let's start going down the ways of how people can be involved, and also understand that you can be involved in more than one way.
Yeah.
But let's get down that list.
Yeah. So I got a nice list here of ways that folks can help. Starting with, like we talked about, part of the reason that we want to do this is to show that this is a safe place. So making sure that this event happens safely. If you want to help like our folks that are going to be helping people get parked safely, because I mean, there's a big parking lot and there's a lot of people, and especially with kids as it's getting darker, that's an important way that folks can help to serve. So if safety is something you care about, you can do that, or you can help people on and off the hayride. And then just helping serve folks, you can set up a trunk. Absolutely. Registration is open for that. We'll make sure that that's available to everyone that's listening to this. But you can, we have a registration form that you can set up and just mark, I'm going to set up a trunk. That way we kind of get an idea of how much space we need to mark out for you folks that are going to be serving the trunk or treaters. You can lead a game or a station. You can be with the Inflatables. Like I said, with the hayride. You can do, another thing I want to say, you can do any of this stuff with your small group too. Because like I said, we do these things with our friends and our companions. So if you're like, I want to get my small group together and we'll be like the CEOs of parking at Shepherd for the night. That's great. I mean, that's awesome. And it sounds fun to me. But also just, you said, Joe, there's lots of different ways that you can serve. So in that registration where you can register to sign up for a trunk, you can also register to volunteer. And if you choose to do that, you and I can talk about specific ways and areas that you would like to serve. But even aside from like, I guess, officially serving in that capacity, you just attending this event have a huge opportunity. I mean, if you're at a trunk and you see a mom that's got her hands full, you can just put the candy right in their bag for her. Or if she drops something, you can pick it up and help her out in that way. You see a parent that's separated or looking for a child, or a child that's looking for a parent, help them. But like I said, there's a big opportunity for us to show that we are a church that desires to help. And if you come at it with that mindset, there's just limitless opportunities to do that.
And even now, a lot of those things as far as helping are going to kind of be day of. Things like helping with parking, maybe attending some of the stations, helping people get on and off of hayrides, helping people get a hot dog. All that kind of stuff. Maybe manning where the pumpkin launching is going to be. And
everybody's going to want to do that.
Especially, it can be down at the bottom and help catch the pumpkins, right?
I don't think that's in there.
Maybe. I don't know. But also, providing trunks. And now for those that don't know what that looks like, I mean, we just say it because we're so used to it from years of experience. But a lot of times what you'll do is you'll pick a theme. I mean, we've seen all kinds of stuff. I've been involved in all kinds of stuff.
The Aylshires are famous for this evening.
Yes, we intentionally at one point took ourselves out of the competition because we felt like...
We got to give you guys a handicap or something.
So we've done everything from The Price is Right to Pac-Man to roller coaster to a used car sales lot. There's been a lot of things. But we've also seen people take their car and turn it into like a fishing boat. We've seen all kinds of different themes of like whatever kind of show or kind of theme that you wanted to put to your particular trunk. There's been a lot of fun things like that. And sometimes we have a little bit of friendly competition between the different trunks. So you could sign up to do that. And also there is the issue of candy. So let's talk about that a little bit. How's that coming along?
So a lot of you guys know that the church has been receiving donations for candy for Trunk or Treat. Now, it's hard to estimate how many pieces of candy you'll need for something like this because it's hard to estimate how many folks are going to attend. But I'd rather be in the situation where we have too much candy, if you know what I'm saying, Joe. That's a problem that we could solve fairly expeditiously. But so what I'm going to be communicating with folks that are bringing a trunk is that they can bring candy, but also as a church, supplies run low after you have several hundred kids come through. That's usually the way it comes. So absolutely, if you're bringing a trunk, you can bring your own candy to help supply yourself. But also, like you said, Joe, if you're looking to find a way to serve and that's not the capacity that you would like to, you can just donate candy. You can drop it off here in the lobby on Sundays or Wednesdays or whenever you're here. That way we can help to refill the folks that are out there set up at their trunks. And there's lots of other things you can donate too, because we're going to have to make a whole lot of hot dogs, which means a whole lot of hot dog buns and water bottles and chips and all that stuff. There's a sign up form to sign up to donate, stuff like that. So you don't need to bring your hot dogs in, 3 weeks in advance or whatever. But if you want to say, I want to sign up to bring 2 24 packs of hot dogs, you just type in, I'm bringing 48 hot dogs, and then you can drop them off the week of.
So we've been talking a lot about sign up, but I do want to clarify that to come as a participant to Trunk or Treat, you do not need to sign up.
Yep.
You are just need to show up. But there are several signups available as far as being able to volunteer for the day of, being able to register that you'll do a trunk, being available to and providing some of the donated items, including candy, but also including some other food items and things like that we're going to be handing out that day.
Right.
So what we're going to do is there's going to be a banner on our homepage. So if you go to shepnaz.org, you'll see a Trunk or Treat banner. And if you click on that, then you'll be able to get to all these places of how to be able to volunteer, how to register your trunk. And we really need your help with that.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
We would hate for 800 people to show up to walk through Trunk or Treat and then have 3 trunks.
Yeah.
So you could do this as a family. You could do it as a groups of friends. You could take your small group could do a trunk. Maybe even your ministry area.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't it be really cool? I'm just going to put the word out there. Wouldn't it be really cool to have like a prayer and praise trunk?
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
That kind of stuff. So there's definitely some things that we could do in that regards. All right. So anything else we need to hit before we call it a day?
Nope. Except just spread the word, invite your friends, and come out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It will definitely be a lot of fun. That is coming Sunday, October 26th from 5 to 7:30 p.m. here at Gahanna campus of Shepherd. And we certainly want you to go to shepnaz.org, click on the Trunk or Treat banner and find out more details and share that to all of your friends and family, even strangers. That would be great. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. For Pastor Brett, I'm Joe. Have a great day.
See you guys.
This podcast is a production of the Shepherd Church of the Nazarene, Gahanna, Ohio. Email to podcast@shepnaz.org and let us know what you think.